This is my 2018 Trek Crockett review. Uh, this is the one bike that I currently own that I don't really like. The funny thing is, it's been the bike that I've owned for the longest time. I bought this bike a few years back when my carbon fiber felt FX4 cyclocross frame actually snapped in half during a race, and I duct taped the frame back together, and it was no longer safe. So I had to search for a new cyclocross frame. I knew I wanted flat mount brakes, through axles, and good tire clearance. And I was kind of thinking maybe aluminum since I had found that carbon fiber wasn't as um, resilient. So the Trek Crockett kind of fit that bill. So I bought it directly from Trek. I got the 54 centimeter size frame. I'm 5'10" and I have a 33-inch inseam. And the stack on that is 562 millimeters, and the reach is 383 millimeters. So that if you look at those numbers, that stacks a little high. At least I think for especially for a 54, but it came in the super cool Miami green color. So um, I think it's one of the best colorways for a frame. It kind of has that Celeste Bianche look. And I just transferred over all my parts from my old bike, and now I had a new cyclocross bike. So the one thing that I really love about this bike, and maybe that's why I haven't sold it yet, is it just can really do whatever you want. So um, since my cyclocross season was over, when I snapped that felt frame, I built this up to do road ride and do winter training. So I didn't have a road bike at the time. I do now. I have an LA Sprint, and you can see the review on that. Um, so what I did here was I put 30 millimeter tubeless Schwalbe tires on it, um, and rode it all winter and all spring. And I was able to do some gravel rides because it had the 30 millimeter tires on it, and I was even able to do road rides. That meant I had a 42 chainring, so descents I wouldn't be able to pedal, but I was okay with that. It was perfect for training, and when I would put it on my indoor trainer, gearing isn't really an issue when you have an indoor trainer. So when the cyclocross season rolled around, I just converted it back. So I just put on some cyclocross tires, and it was a cyclocross bike for me for the next year. Um, so I absolutely love that versatility. Um, Speaking of versatility, I think I've built this up like 5 or 6 different ways. It's been a road bike, cyclocross bike, single speed cyclocross bike, mountain bike. Yep, I put flat bars on it and specialized rhombus tires. Um, a hybrid dad commuter bike, and also a gravel bike. I was able to fit 42 millimeter specialized Pathfinder tires on here. So the reason I tried so many different variations was I was just trying to find the personality of this bike. I never really enjoyed the frame for some reason. I just kept trying to change the bike around, and just kept seeing what might work best, and nothing really clicked. Out of all those options, I would definitely say the gravel setup was my favorite. I don't think it's honestly a great cyclocross bike. The frame just isn't sharp enough. It's a little too relaxed for me, and I want something more aggressive, shorter stack. Um, as a gravel bike, it's great, honestly, but for me, it's just not a great cyclocross bike. And I know the legend Sven Nys and even Katie Compton helped design this frame, but it wasn't really for me. And if you go to any cyclocross race, you'll see this bike everywhere. It's a very popular bike since it's aluminum and it's cheap, and yeah, a lot of people ride it. But I found that the aluminum frame is really devoid of any character, and it's really muted, and it just doesn't give me a lot of feedback. Um, but the reason I have kept it, just it can do so much. So like I said, I put 42 millimeter wire tires on it. Not many cyclocross bikes can do that since the maximum tire width is 33 millimeters. So most bikes don't let you go beyond that, actually. It has the adjustable dropout, so you can set it up for single speed. So you can move the rear wheel forward, or for better, tighter turning, like in cyclocross, or backwards for more stability for road and gravel. Um, And this feature only came on like for a couple years on the Crockett. So if you really want this, you have to look for one for the adjustable dropouts. I think it was like 2017, 2018. Then they took it away once gravel kind of became a thing because I think they realized that this Crockett could kind of do everything. Um, my current bike setup is in cyclocross since it's currently mid-November and right in the midst of cyclocross season. So I have my Shimano GRX shifters, 11 speed shifters on there, and absolutely love those. Um, that also has the Shimano GRX rear derailleur with the clutch and wide gear ranging, so less change drops. It has a SRAM Force crankset with a power meter from Power 2 Max. The front chainring is a 42 chainring, and the rear cassette is 1134. So um, gearing is a personal preference for cyclocross. You know, it has a lot to do with your weight and your power, but I found that to be a really good setup for the Mid Atlantic. That's in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area that I currently live. The handlebars are 40 centimeter zip handlebars, and I have two wheel sets. I have stands, no tube grails. These are awesome. They're just solid. They're a little heavy, but they're just solid wheels. I usually run these for gravel, and then for cyclocross, I run the DT Swiss ER 1400 wheels, and they have 240 hubs, so they're going to be a little bit lighter and faster for cyclocross, which that's why I use those. And I've run so many. I've run Donnelly, the PDX mud tires on it. I've done the Continental Terrace speeds, which are faster gravel. Currently, I'm running the Specialized Tracer S Works. These are like really new tires by Specialized. They're 33 millimeters wide and they have a grippy T7 compound. So I've only done one race on them and they've been awesome so far. Um, so a little bit more about the frame. The aluminum frame is, I mean, it's a quality solid frame. It's made of the 300 series alpha aluminum. It has a tapered head tube and a BB86 bottom bracket. So, you know, it's not threaded, which would be awesome. I think the newer ones are threaded, but it hasn't given me many issues. Um, you know, I just find it. I have an Allay Sprint, which is aluminum, and I also have a Specialized Chisel, which is aluminum, and I find those bikes have way better feel and feedback than this bike. Um, so you know, I just really like that understanding what's kind of going on as you race and go through corners. And this, I just don't feel that on this bike. So um, so who is this bike for? Well, it's a perfect bike for everyone, and that's why I have it. It can do just about everything. Gravel, long road rides, cyclocross, mountain bike, commuter bike, single speed, you know, you name it, it can do it. So it's equally at home on the gravel, on the cyclocross course, but also commuting to work. Um, so that's kind of the one problem, you know, the bikes that can do it all are never that great at one thing. So as a cyclocross, it's not that great. As a gravel bike, it's probably its best, and as a road bike, it's okay. So, so you know, the next bike, I really want it to be just a great cyclocross bike. Um, so, what is that next bike? You know, I'm not sure, but I guess I'll have to sell this one and move on to the next one. So, with that, is anyone looking for a Miami Green size 54 Trek Crockett? Let me know. And yes, so thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.